going on, everybody? Red-Rupee here with the first episode in our Tip of the Week series for Iron Harvest. So expect a new Iron Harvest video pretty much every Monday on a new topic with a little tidbit of information on Iron Harvest. Be it the game, strategies, tips, tricks, all that kind of nonsense, we'll have it here. So if you have a topic you'd like to hear about, leave a comment and I'll make a point to get to it soon. The first one's actually something I posted on Reddit a while back. It was a guide to the somewhat confusing hotkey options presented in Iron Harvest. A few folks have asked me about this, so I figured I'd just make a quick video instead of sending people to hunt down an inevitably deeper and deeper buried thread in Reddit. And anyways, first I'll show you what all the unlabeled abilities link to, so you can decide for yourself where you'd like to put your hotkeys, and then I'll show you my preferred hotkey setup for a more traditional RTS layout. I was hoping this would be changed for release, but as you can see here, the abilities are simply listed 1 through 14. Apparently, King Art has no specific hotkeys for global abilities like attack, move, stop, attack ground, or point attack, anything like that, so they are just listed here as such. Not particularly helpful. The ability numbers listed actually coordinate with the command card in-game, and it's simply linked to their position, as you can see here. So 1 through 5 are the top row here, 6 through 10 are the bottom row, and then 11 through 14 are simply for the build commands for both production and engineers. I don't think they exist anywhere else, but I'm not sure. So 1 through 5 are your key abilities. The first one is retreat. Ability number 2 is melee. Number 3 is attack move. 4 is attack ground or point attack. Number 5 is stop, and then 6 through 10 are your actual unit abilities. So your vet abilities and things like that, grows a jump, and set up artillery, decrew weapon, that sort of thing. That's going to be on 6 through 10. So I've simply labeled them abilities 1 through 5 here, and you can kind of put those wherever you'd like. So the way I've laid out my keys is I have retreat on X because that's far away from everything. I won't accidentally hit it, and it's retreat in things like Company of Heroes, Dawn of War. D for me is melee, and obviously A for attack move, G for attack ground, S for stop. Those are pretty standard across all RTS games. And then I just went with my actual abilities. I just went Q, W, E, R, T. That's if you're playing MOBAs, if you're playing most RTS, if you're using any sort of grid key setup, that's normally where your abilities lie, are along those hotkeys. So that's up to you how you want to do that, but that's what I've chosen to do. So these keep in mind, it's worth noting that changing these hotkeys will change the hotkey layout and things like the building grid and your engineer building, so you can't actually change unit hotkeys or building hotkeys separately. So if you want to change these, it's going to affect both. It's not really a big deal. You'll adapt to it quickly enough. It's also worth noting that there's no reset to defaults option here. So if you start changing your hotkeys and you want to go back and you don't like them, it's probably worth taking a screenshot of your hotkeys before you do it. That way you know what to go back to, because there's no, if you scroll up and down here, there's no return to default, unfortunately. So that's that. So just be a little careful when you choose what you want to do, because until I assume they're planning to add one, but as of right now there isn't anything like that. And then this is basic stuff. Your mouse pan speed is obviously when you're holding down by default the center mouse button to click and drag around. Mouse scroll speed is just edge pan. Rotation, key scroll speed, if you use that, those are specific to some people that used WASD. I use the arrow keys, but I only do that for casting. Obviously, during my gameplay, as you've seen, I use edge pan like most people. That said, not one is superior to the other. I know people that do both. Troid's a prominent player. He's very strong in the game, and he uses WASD to move his camera around so he can keep his mouse in the center of the action, easily to keep track of and click on things much more quickly. So it's all, the hotkeys is always what you prefer. A lot of people get really dogmatic about, well, this is the best hotkey setup you can have, and this is the most efficient way to use it. And honestly, it's all personal preference. Whatever you like, set it up your way. And there's really not too much else to go over here. I think most of these are fairly self-explanatory. I don't think anything is too tricky here. Of course, reverse move is an important one that people... It's not very prominent that this is in the game. I think it pops up on one of the tooltips. But that's about it. But you always want to be... If you're backing your mech out of battle, if you're not full retreating, you probably want to be reverse moving. Group selection, I always leave on control. Toggle heads on F10. I don't know why. Every other RTS, F10 is the main menu, but in this game it just turns off the HUD and confuses me, so I got nothing on that. But anyways, that's the long and short of it. It's a nice, quick, easy video for this tip. Hopefully it helps you guys figure out a better hotkey selection for yourselves, because this menu is not useful at all. Hopefully at some point soon King Arts will update it, and this will be an irrelevant video, but until then, here's your hotkey guide. I'll even put a link in the description below to my original Reddit post, so you can just pull up that image if you wish and use that as your guide instead of listening to my silly voice over and over again while you set your hotkeys. Thanks so much for listening and watching, and we'll be back next week with another tip.